All right. Riley here, your strategic startup advisor. Yesterday, I posted on LinkedIn a little bit of a retro, and a lot of you asked me to actually give a bit more information about my clients, who they are, what they do, and how I am able to help them, and what I've done so far to help them. So, you know what? Let's dive into this section. Let me just put on my slightly thicker glasses to do that, and let's go. So I'm going to present you some of the clients I'm working with and how we are working together. First, let me present you the Founders Foundation Program series October 24. So the first company I'm helping, of course, I anonymized the project. So let's call it Project Range. It's a two founders company. And what they do is boost office and government employees' productivity with AI and automation. The second one is Project Crypto. It's a one founder organization, and what they do in the agency is essentially they provide ghostwriting services for crypto project. That's when I met them. Unfortunately, the bear market happened and they needed extra revenue stream. And so they pivoted a little bit towards small and medium enterprises here. And also entrepreneurs. So what they provide is essentially ghostwriting services for SMEs and entrepreneurs. And the last client is here. Let's call it Project Rock. And it's a two founders company, and they are a boutique web design and marketing agency. And so they are the three clients that I have here. I know what you may be wondering. So he's supposed to help first SaaS founders, but there are none here. I guess that's just offer and demand. People showed up and they had cool projects and they asked for my help, so I just jumped in. So yes, not SaaS founders, but maybe you're the next one. So I want to dive now deeper into each single project and go vertically. I'm going to talk a bit more about the project, about the team and what they're doing, if they're struggling or not, etc., and how I was able to help them, and what we've done so far. So let's get with the first one. So the project where they boost office and government employees' productivity. And let's have a look at the first thing, the North Star. I don't know if you're familiar with this term, the North Star, or the vision, the why. So the first thing I did with all of the folks is onboard them into a really cool platform called Stellify. It's a really cool OKR, objectives and key result platform. So it helps you with the strategy. And so the first thing I do is get them onto this platform and ask them the hard question. What is your why? Why do you do that? And what is your vision? Okay. Vision with a big V. And so we write the vision down and we get the North Star. So here you have the North Star for this first organization. And the North Star is a world where Canada becomes the most productive country in the G20. I made a mistake. I was supposed to say productive. There you go. Country of the G20, because it's not the case right now. It's one of the lowest productivity country in the G20. And they want to fix that, which is a really cool goal, which is a really cool vision. And so then we came up with a North Star metric. So the North Star metric is essentially a metric that tells you if you're getting closer to the North Star, or actually going away from the North Star. So it's really essential to have a North Star metric so that you can see if you're heading to the right direction or the opposite. So their North Star metric is the number of people who use AI daily, and the number of hours that are saved with AI and automation. So that being said, that was the North Star. Now we defined the North Star. It's really essential for me to understand what is your North Star, what is your vision, because it's the destination that you ideally want to reach. And if I don't know where you want to go, then I cannot help you go. We cannot go there. Founder's compass, but if the destination is not entered in the GPS, there's nothing I can do for you. So next thing, the offer. So here, I used a bit of a funny ways to measure that. I used the Hormozy scale. I don't know. In my head, Hormozy is Italian, even if it's like probably half French, half Iranian, or something like that. But for me, it's Italian, so I'll say Hormozy. So these companies offer quality on the Hormozy scale, so from 0 to 11. I like to use 11 because that tilts the measurement in one hand, so you cannot just go in the middle by saying 5. So the offer quality, I would say, is a solid 7 out of 11. 7-Eleven. Yeah, I see you guys. Where are you going with this? 7-Eleven. I didn't have dinner yet, so I'm probably starving, which is why I came up with this number. No, the offer is good. The offer is good, but it's not irresistible. So there's definitely margin for improvement here, but it's a good offer. The product, rating the product. So here I use something that is quite common in the industry. It's called the NPS, the Net Promoter Score. So this is something they didn't know about. This is something I brought into the company. I got them to start using the NPS after each delivery of their workshop, and I have to say they have a good NPS. So NPS goes from 0 to 10, and essentially 8, 9, and 10 are your promoters. I think it's 6, 7 are neutral. I need to double check that, and everything below 6 is essentially negative. So if you are between 8 and 10, you're doing good. As I always say on LinkedIn, you cannot improve what you don't measure. So measuring and getting your APS running is essential. So that's one of the big measurement things I got into the process, and we got this good NPS. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about the deal flow, because I see you guys, you want to talk about the money. Let's unveil the deal flow. So in the deal flow, there is about 50, maybe it's actually 40, because we're talking about Canadian dollars. So it's close to 40K USD of potential deal in the pipeline. But you see the red flag here, and it's not Mario arrival section. It's actually because there's a couple of red flags with the deals in the pipeline. If you remember, I said they're working with office and government employees. And so government employees, the thing is, they have a season of the year where it's really hard to get those contracts out there, because they are in that phase where they are voting the money. They are voting the budgets. So because they're voting the budgets, that end of the year phase is pretty much frozen. And so we have those contracts that are very likely to happen, but we need to wait for the budget to be voted, and essentially it will not start before, I would say, February of next year. So it's highly likely to happen, but we couldn't sign the deal. So that's a major red flag. Let's move to the acquisition. Again, I use the Hormozy scale here. What is the acquisition scale? So how is the acquisition? Are we getting people's attention? Are we getting people activated and aware of our solution? Here I would say it's a solid 3 out of 11. So not enough people see the offer. And this is something we need to improve. So I'm working with them on that particular matter. And the reason why not enough people are aware of the offer for a couple of reasons. So one is there's a communication strategy sort of blocker. So we need to tune a little bit the communication strategy. The LinkedIn content was too weak, and we were running ads experiments. So we starting to get results with the ads and start to capture the messages that resonate with people. But this is something we need to improve. So I'm working with them on all of those aspects, giving them feedback on the strategy, how they build the content, and how they measure the impact of the content, so we can get those deals. But this is definitely the three things that we're working on that will improve the acquisition scale. So the next thing, let me see. Yeah, probably here I uncovered a couple of the stuff. Yes, a little bit more detail on the acquisition strategy. Sorry. If you have a look at here, it's not a matter of volume. So they doing the work. So here the key result is 75%, which is fairly achieved. So in the OKR, if you do 40 or 50%, the key result is considered completed. So here they're really close to superbly complete those key results. Same thing here. They went on text form. They actually overachieved the objective, which is not a good thing in the OKR approach. If you overachieved objectives, that means your key results, were not ambitious enough. And so here, overachieved. If I go down here with partnership, they overachieved. What partnership is not that important, but here the content is overachieved, so they were not ambitious enough. And at the same time, the ads, here we don't have the data for the ads, but it was way too high last month, and no webinars were done here. So definitely rebalancing the content creation to get a little bit more of webinars, and either getting higher on the ambition of the content, or actually getting return on investment, because the return on investment of all of this was pretty low. And I think I have it down here. Yeah. Same thing here. We had a lot of demos booked. We aimed for 15. We actually got more than that. We overachieved, so we were not ambitious enough. But the same thing, they were not monitoring the number of demos that they were booking, so they didn't know. So it's interesting here to see that they created a lot of content, which led to a lot of bookings, but and those bookings made a lot of potential close, but everything got stuck here. Everything got stuck here because their clients have this blocker of budget validation. It's the big white wall, and they can't get past through it. That's about it. Let me see if I have anything else to say about the acquisition. No, that's good. Retention. What about the retention? The retention is pretty low. So they deliver the workshops. They're getting really good results on the workshops because they're getting that 8.5 NPS. So let me see. They're getting this 8.5 NPS, which means people are satisfied, and they want to promote the workshop, but there is nothing after that. So we designed an upsell here for this product to see if we can get more lifetime value for the customer. So that's something we're working on. We're working with a concierge product, and I'll tell you probably next month how this goes. Revenue, let's have a look at that. So yeah, the revenue was pretty low this month. You can see that in the booking, they only achieved 22% of what was planned. But we were working a lot on the structural aspect of the company, the organization, the processes. So that's okay. They still have a good runaway, so we can deal with that. So to summarize a little bit the challenges that they had, The number one was the right offer, so we corrected a little bit the offer when I started working with them about 2 months ago. Then we corrected a little bit the pitch, sorry, because they were not closing the right thing. So that is definitely much better now. Improving the product here. So we've made a couple of adjustments in the product in the workshop that has yield really good results, and we were able to close new workshops after that. But this is the core of the company. So what we do is really continuous improvement. So every time we deliver the workshop, we try to improve one aspect of it so that workshop after workshop, it gets better and better. So incremental improvement, just like your iPhone, the 14 and 15, there's a very few things drastically improving. Some of the challenges was collecting feedback and testimonials, like the NPS. That was not in the processes when I started working with these guys. So now we've got that part of it. And one of the main challenges that they have is essentially organization and optimizing efforts. So a lack of clarity and focus. So they were shooting everywhere, and they were sort of getting drowned in all the tasks and what task is super important, what task is not, and which is typical, which is perfectly normal when you're a startup. You're doing everything. You're doing the marketing, you're doing the sales, you're doing the prep, the delivery, and these kind of things. And so it's kind of hard. Everything is going in all directions, and so this is where I was mainly focusing my help, and I'm still doing it, is making sure that they are maximizing their effort. And so essentially going Pareto, focusing on the 80% results, so that they can move forward, and it's starting to get good results. So that's for the first company. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If I should add a couple of other information next time, or if something is not clear, type it down in the comments. And I'm going to move to the second company, the crypto project, the ghost writing agency that pivoted a little bit. So the first thing I did, same thing as here. First thing we did is the North Star. Let me capture this here. Defining the North Star. So I got them onto Stellify. And we defined the North Star, the destination. And so their North Star is a world where Web3 is obvious for everyone. And I kind of like this punchline because it's a very Schopenhauer-esque. Schopenhauer states that every breakthrough technology goes through 3 phases. First is considered ridiculous. Then it's considered dangerous, to finally become obvious. So that's the Schopenhauer breakthrough ideas. And so what they want to do is make sure that Web3 becomes obvious. So for some people it is obvious, but not for everyone. For some people it's still ridiculous and dangerous. So they really want to work on that aspect. And so North Star being defined, destination being defined, we came with a North Star metric. And the North Star metric is the number of projects who sustainably go to market. I'm not sure you write sustainably like that. Excuse my English, but you got the point. And so once we had the destination, the North Star metric, we worked on, let me see here, the offer. Let me copy this here. I'll actually do that. Boop. There you go. I'm building it live with you guys. So the offer, what is the offer and how good is the offer on the Hormozy scale? Let's have a look at that. The offer is, it's in the middle, okay? It's in the middle. We can do better. So it's a 5 out of 11. I think it's still a bit weak. It's still a bit weak. There's definitely stuff to add in there to make it irresistible. But they're working on it. Product, the NPS. So the NPS is something I just introduced late this month because I didn't want to overwhelm them with too many systems at the same time. So this is something fairly new, and it's going to be shipped I think this weekend the first clients are gonna get to fill the NPS, so I'll be able to update you on that. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to know what's the NPS for this second company. And what do we have in the deal flow? In the deal flow, there's about 6K USD of deals in the pipeline that are about to be signed. Here, I'm going to show you a couple of OKRs, objectives and key results. This client is by far the most sharp client with the OKRs. They really update their OKRs every single day. They at least check it a couple of times a week, and they update it every time. So I'm able to show you this really cool view. So we start in August, September, and October. What the cool thing is, you can see they achieved the objectives every single month here. So you may wonder why am I saying that they achieved it every single month when they're just at 50%? It's because the structure of the OKRs is, if you get to 50% of the key results, then it's considered a success. So that's pretty cool. They had a good August, slightly lower on the second the September and October month, but that's because we added new systems, and so it sort of shook a little bit the tree, but they'll climb back really quickly. So let me dive a bit more into the acquisition. So acquisition, 3 out of 11, just like the other one, but I told you about the offer that was a bit weak, and then the communication strategy, the LinkedIn content, and the leads are ways of improvement. Like I said, the offer is weak, so I'm not going to come back on this. The communication strategy, because the offer was weak, the strategy that was put in place was not yielding maximum results, and the content with it was just following. So improving the offer, improving the avatar will help them draft a better strategy and a better content. And then of course the leads, but we're working on that. I'm actually going to show you how I work with them on the lead and the acquisition part. So what I did for these folks is that we shared a Notion with a simple Kanban. So things to do, things in progress, and things done. And so essentially I shadow them with every call they do, whether it's a discovery call, a closing call, or just a checking call with the clients. So essentially they record all the calls and they create tickets here. They tell me that it's a discovery call with that person, what kind of call it is. Like here it's a closing call, for example. And then I just grab those videos or audios here. Essentially what often happens is it's a Google recording. I sort of transform that into it's an MP3. I listen to that, and then I give them feedback on WhatsApp, audio feedback or text feedback, and then we update the closing list, and we add on a second Kanban. To do work. So when I identify an improvement point, improvement, I don't know how to write improvement point, I just list it here. Boom, boom, boom. And so this either translate into a task they have to do. Boom. Task for them, or a system that I can put in place. In form of a documentation or like SOP, or a video resource that I could create and that I would share with them, or eventually set up a workshop where we would sort of role play a particular aspect that is missing so far, and improving the system like that. This has clearly yield results. I want to share with you a little bit some of those objectives and key results. So one of the problem that they had, I didn't write it down here, but it was the retention. So they were making money, but after a month, the client would stop working with them, and because they were not monitoring the NPS, we couldn't get signals for that. So here are some of the objectives for between September and October. Let me see. There you go. So here you can see between September and October. So what we had in October was a financial goal achieved close to 10K. They made I think that 9.1 or something like that. But the retention was not great. We can consider that they achieved the retention, but they could have done better. And this was the consulting offering. And so I really wanted them to improve on the retention, because chasing clients every single month is a huge red flag. So on the month of October, we increased the key results. So the goal of making more money. Here it's only 28%, but I think it was not updated. Yeah, it wasn't updated. I checked the last numbers, and they made 9.6, which makes the key results attained. And the good thing is now they got a better retention. They actually overachieved the retention, which means that they were not ambitious enough with the retention. And when you compare it with the previous month, we actually went from 1,600 to 4,200. So that's really, really good. So we'll try to be a bit more ambitious in the retention for the next month. Try to make it probably 6K. I think it's doable, 6 or 7K. And I'll still want to stabilize the revenue at about 10K, because there's a lot of groundwork to make sure that the foundations are solid before we try to scale. But that's actually really good key results. So to summarize a little bit this section, the challenges that they had, improve the offer. That's something we're still working on. The offer can be better. I think it's a 5. I said 5.11. So I want to take it to a 7 or 8. That's definitely feasible. Then improving the pitch, improving the discovery calls, improving the closing rate, definitely. And same thing, that's one of the foundational problem that they have as well, is organization and optimizing effort. So I introduced a lot of practices like the Kanban I showed you before that they were not using. They were not tracking the leads properly. They didn't have a clear funnel. They didn't have a pirate metrics in place. Pirate matrix, is it matrix? Yeah. Pirate metrics in place to track the clients from acquisition to revenue. I'll skip you the pirate metrics, but for those who don't know what it is, just Google pirate metrics, or it's also called the AARRR framework. So that's what we did. That's where we are with this client. The video is already 28 minutes, so I'm probably going to close it here, but I'm going to add one more thing, and it's probably a question that you all have is, okay, but how do I work with these guys? So I want to quickly walk you through the process. So essentially what I do, the step number 1 is get a discovery call with them to see what their problem is and if I can help, because I don't want to work, I don't want to sell you something that I won't be able to deliver. And step number 2 is I onboard them onto Stellify. You see the OKR thing that I showed you before. And we define the North Star. So we define the destination where they want to go. And then we sort of start putting in place the strategy with objectives and key results and tasks. Step number 3, we define a clear and agile way of working. What I love is a simple Kanban or on a Notion for the tasks. So the tasks that they will have to do, the stuff that I will have to do, and they can drop me some tasks on the Kanban as well. And then what we do, and then it becomes part of the routine. One mandatory weekly kickoff or a meeting or a sync meeting. So essentially, we either jump on a meeting and they tell me what they plan to do for the week, or they just send me like a Loom video or something like that that explains me what they plan on doing for the week, and I give them the feedback. And then the other thing we do is we have the closing meeting at the end of the week that I call the retro meeting or asynchronous video. So they can also send me a video and tell me what have they done, what did they get done this week, if they had any blockers, big white walls, if they had challenges, or if there's stuff that they wanna talk about to improve. And in between the beginning of the week and the end of the week, essentially they can just send me unlimited requests, async requests. Most of them, they send me iMessages or WhatsApp messages with questions, documentations to review and stuff like that, and they attach that to the Kanban, so they can sort of move the stuff in my cards. And if the questions are small, I can answer right away. I'll just do that on those platforms. Otherwise, they have the option of booking unlimited sessions throughout the week, so unlimited workshops. And what they do is they have access to my calendar, and they can just pick a time, and just tell me what they want to work on. And so here are example of the sessions that we've done so far with these guys. So review the offer, planning the week, when we created the survey for the second team, updating the OKRs every week or once a month, updating the content. One of them needed help to hire a software developer because I have a software developing background, so I helped them with that, or using testing script. These are just examples of the stuff I've done with these guys. So not limited to, and that's pretty much it. There's like one thing that we do as well every end of the month. So we are gonna do it probably tomorrow or this weekend with these guys. It's the monthly check-in, so where we review the goals, the OKR, and so we zoom out a little bit on the month and the quarter, sometimes even the year, to make sure that we're heading to the right direction, that we're heading, to the North Star. And that's about it. So I'll close this video with that. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you sort of liked this format. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want me to dive more into a particular topic, if you want me to show you more stuff, write all of this down in the comments, or you can always send me a DM. If you want my amazing Hormozy scale, write this down in the comments down below as well. And until then, boom.